Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El nuevo Volkswagen Tiguan 2025 con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast. This is our regular get-together in audio format here at E2C Network to catch you up on the latest Auburn news, topics, discussions that are happening on social media, and just when you're out and about, being part of the Auburn family, taking part in the Auburn experience. That's, to us, all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. Say it with me. If it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to do today on episode 59 of Ever to Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Loomis, and today's date is August 28th. 2025. Yes, folks, we are less than we're about 24, a little over 24 hours from right now when I'm recording this, but you get the point whenever you're listening to this episode, this day's podcast. 1 day left to college football back. Certainly, we're going to talk about that in this episode. We're going to catch you up on some of those other game week discussion things, talk about your Auburn weekend, everything that you need to be aware of. And we've got a few other things in the gymnastics realm, some other related football things to talk about. We got a bunch of things, as always, to get into, so let's not waste any time from here. As a reminder, we typically do these shows on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays right now, and those are the only really planned shows. So I would not at this time anticipate having a Friday episode of this, but that changed very quickly last week, as you found out. That's why you should always be subscribed and just be checking your feed just in case. But we're going to go ahead and treat this like this is the beginning of your Auburn weekend and catch you up on what you need to be aware of on your Auburn weekend to start off on this show. So obviously from Friday the 29th through Sunday the 31st and really into Monday the 1st, these are the things that you need to be aware of, a lot of Auburn sports things and events that are happening this weekend. Let's start off with volleyball. They're the first thing that's going to get going on Friday the 29th, but they're actually going to be participating all weekend in Louisville, Kentucky at a volleyball event. They're going to take on Louisville. Then they're going to take on Saturday Morehead State. And on Sunday, they'll also finish that up with St. John's. This is the start of their season, so this is something you want to be pay attention to. We'll probably talk a little bit about it on an upcoming episode of the Auburn Experience. So that's volleyball right there. Cross country is officially getting started this weekend. They're at the JSU Foothills Invitational. It's usually the one they start at most seasons. That's in Oxford, Alabama. So there's a lot of Auburn folks up that way, close to Birmingham as well. If you've got nothing to do on a 5:30 Central Time Friday afternoon, come on out and support them and check them out and show them some Auburn family love too. Of course, Auburn versus Baylor takes place at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Make sure you're whatever you need to do to get ready for that, we're almost there, folks. Football's ready to go. Soccer also has 2 events over this weekend leading Friday to Monday, really. On Friday, they're going to play in Provo, Utah. They're going to take on BYU. That's at 9 Eastern Time, 8 Central. Right, doesn't mean football will be underway. I know most of you will be paying attention to that football, but at least check in on them, see how they're doing. And then they'll also play on Monday, still out in Utah, at Utah Valley in Orem, Utah. Never heard of that before. But that's your Auburn weekend. Certainly keep up with that as much as you can and take in the fullness of the Auburn experience, especially in the sports realm. Let's start off here with some football game week prep time. This is a little bit weird since Auburn is playing on a Friday. It still feels like we should have another day to kind of let all this digest and analyze things a little bit more, but we're sitting here on this episode 1 day away. So yesterday we heard from Coach Hugh Freeze on the SEC teleconference, and I had an opportunity to listen in on that and take a few notes. as we typically do. We try to put some of those notes out on X as they're happening live. So if you ever want to follow those, be looking for that, and those are out there. I'm kind of running off some of those. Won't go through all of it. I just want to hit a few of the high points that were discussed during that SEC teleconference. As of yesterday, he was asked about Eric Singleton's health. If you haven't been aware, he's been a little bit hampered with some type of deep bruise that's kept him a little bit limited lately in practice. He did say that he will play, but he may not be completely 100%. Even if he's not 100%, having him out there is certainly something that's going to be challenging for the Baylor defense to have to factor him in and just wonder, is he really 100% or not? So it's obviously something to make of note, to keep in mind, but not something necessarily to panic about in any way, stretch of the imagination. Coach Hugh Freeze, once again, was asked a lot about this novel concept. Not even, I say that tongue in cheek, it's not novel. This was discussed last year about how he uses quarterbacks and things like that. We have a starting quarterback, Jackson Arnold. He reiterated that, but he is always open to using his other two quarterbacks that have a lot of talent and ability if the situation arises for it. So that means he was very complimentary of all their abilities to use their legs, and they haven't really been able to see that while they've been protecting them in practice a little bit. Probably the other big news that happened in that SEC teleconference was the naming of the team captains. We had Keldrick Falk, Champ Anthony, Damari Alston, and Connor Liu all named as team captains. I think really all four of those are pretty obvious. Maybe the most surprising was Champ, just because he's been absent from playing since his injury. But I mean, if you understood how important he was to the team back then and how much he was loved by fans and the team, you shouldn't be surprised by this. A lot of people, once again, jump on narratives or start creating these narratives online that somehow that was an indictment against Jackson Arnold when they failed to watch the full clip, especially when they released the clip announcing that. Coach clearly says Jackson, and I believe it was Jeremiah, got some votes as well. I forget the last person. Kieron Crawford were very close in the voting. So what does that tell you? It tells you have a lot of leadership on this team and a lot of people that have earned the respect of their teammates. This isn't an indictment against Jackson Arnold. This is simply these guys have been around for a while and deserve the right to be named team captains. They've earned that, and so congratulations to them. Exciting to see how they're going to lead the team as the de facto full team leaders this year, offense, defense, and otherwise. So that's pretty much the news from that SEC teleconference. I don't know that there'll always be that thorough on news and things to talk about other things, but we'll do our best to catch you up as much as we can on things on future episodes of Ever to Podcast. Let's talk about some of the other news that is out there. These are a few things over the last couple of days that we just didn't have time to get to, or frankly, I just flat out forgot, so apologies there. We'll keep it in the football space for just a second. Cam Newton has announced that he will be holding an event, or rather his podcast content group company, I forget what you would call it. It's a podcast, essentially what it is going to be hosting an event the Georgia weekend when he's having his number retired. This is going to be at the Gouge Performing Arts Center. It's 4th and 1 with Cam Newton presents a one-of-one live. So he's going to basically be doing a show for his show live in the Gouge Center. You can purchase tickets now, October 9th, and check that out. That's a really big event that I know a lot of you maybe have some interest in. It's going to be a fun weekend in general, just with Georgia being here, but now with the fact of Cam Newton having his jersey retired and all that. This is something that you can take part in to plus up your weekend. So check that out. Check out the Gouge Performing Arts Center for tickets. They've got it. They put a post out about it on 4th and 1 with Cam Newton. They've done it on Auburn football's accounts. It's out there if you want to do that. The GougeCenter.evenue.net should get you a start on how to get tickets there if you want to take part in that. It should be a pretty interesting and pretty fun time if Cam Newton's got a microphone in front of him. I think we all agree with that. Some schedule news here. We're starting to slowly get some winter sports things announced, but there's not full schedules yet. For gymnastics, we got an announcement that slipped past a lot of us a little bit, but Elevate the Stage is a big event that happens in gymnastics, and typically Auburn has been a part of that, sometimes Alabama too, because it's usually in Huntsville, and it is, again, at the Von Braun Center. Huntsville is a huge mega hub of Auburn folks, obviously because of all the engineering, aerospace, jobs that are up there. And so we have a great contingency of fans that live there, that come to that area, come down from Auburn North, Nashville, up from the traditional areas where Auburn people reside, over from Atlanta. So this is a good event where you can see not only Auburn gymnastics participate, but this is a quad meet between Pitt, Clemson, and Georgia. So I expect this crowd to be very large, especially with Georgia being there and being so close. Same thing for Clemson too. So come on out to check out the Elevate the Stage event that'll be happening as part of their schedule. We'll update you on that as soon as they announce that. That should be in a few, we'll call it weeks, maybe. I expect some of those schedules to start coming through. A little bit of news also from the last couple of days. This is in the pros. You know the name DeWanna Bonner in women's basketball. She is one of our most revered Auburn athletes, especially in the women's basketball space. She has had her jersey retired. She has broken records, and she's done so or become part of top 10 list in the WNBA. She's already the number 3, if not the number 2 already, number 3 scorer all time in the WNBA, and that's an Auburn person doing that, folks. That's a pretty big deal. The new list that she has cracked is the top 10 list for WNBA steals. I took a quick look at this to see what might be the possibility of her moving up in this list. And because I think we all recognize, if you've been following her career, it's probably not got many more years left, just speculating. But she probably could move up a couple spots in the top 10. I don't know if she could top 5 of the WNBA steals, but she has made the top 10, and that's an incredibly great honor for her, and just continuing to build the story of one DeWanna Bonner and how important she is to the WNBA, but more importantly to Auburn women's basketball and the Auburn family. So that should get you caught up on all the news. One quick note, I'm not sure if we talked about it yesterday because that was a day just jam-packed with stuff too. Octavia Spencer is going to be the Grand Marshal for a homecoming parade. I'll just throw that in here at the end just in case we didn't talk about it yesterday. But that should do it right there, catch you up on the Auburn weekend and get you prepared for football season, folks. It's here. Get excited. As always, remember, we won't have any more of these planned until next Tuesday on this particular podcast. But what you need to be looking for this weekend from us, we have got our preview and prediction live stream, 8 Eastern time on YouTube tonight. That's a Thursday. Friday, after the game, late, we'll have a post-game stream and reaction show on YouTube as well. And then the main thing that you need to be aware of is Sunday, the main podcast, the Auburn Experience, will be live. And we'll talk about, obviously, the first game and many other things in the Auburn Experience at 9 Eastern time on YouTube as well. And you can get the podcast audio for that on Mondays when it comes out, too. Thank you so much for being here with us in this Auburn week. We're excited for the beginning of football season. I know you are, too. Until we talk to you again.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Becoming the most valuable sports franchise in the world doesn't happen without risk. A man who's willing to bet it all, and the players ready to make their own luck. America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, is the story of the 1990s Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones's impact on NFL history. Featuring interviews with iconic 90s players and more. Watch America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, streaming now only on Netflix.
New season, new chaos in college football.
Let's go! Big stage, big opportunity.
This Labor Day weekend, the wildness lives on ABC, ESPN, and the all-new ESPN app.
What a way to start!
Featuring top 10 teams like Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and LSU, and Bill Belichick's debut at North Carolina.
It's so special when these teams collide.
Don't miss a lineup filled with electric matchups.
Welcome back to college football.
Kickoff week presented by Modelo. Labor Day weekend on ESPN and ABC. Also available to stream on the all-new ESPN app.
War Eagle.